Well, speaking of global uncertainties, let's get you exactly what's triggering them. And this is now coming in with these fresh strikes that have now been conducted on part of the United States Central Command, announcing the direction of the commander-in-chief, which is President Trump. The U.S. forces, which has launched additional strikes against Iran to further degrade its ability to threaten the freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, in a statement, the United States has said that it is holding Iran accountable for what it described as the recent unjustified aggression against commercial shipping and civilian crews that seems to be transiting the strategically vital international waterway. However, there seems to be a retaliation that has now come in from the Iranian side as well, because the conflict in West Asia is now threatening to further widen, because after Iran's IRGC has claimed that it has launched a joint missile and drone operations targeting at least 4 U.S. military bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. Now, remember, the viewers, this has happened before and seems to be happening again, and calling it to be the first phase of its punitive response to the recent American strikes. So the IRGC has been claiming that key infrastructure at the bases that seems to have been destroyed, and has warned the U.S. Installations, more of them across the Gulf region, could be targeted if Washington continues with its military action. However, there is still no official statement that is coming from the U.S. side as far as the extent of the damage that has been incurred on these military bases. But the military bases in the Gulf regions have often come under attack ever since this conflict began. However, there is no independent or U.S. confirmation over the extent of the damage that has occurred in these U.S. military bases. Let's connect with Srinjoy on this angle. Srinjoy, attacks, retaliatory strikes, more attacks by the U.S., and of course the IRGC now doing what it has done before. When we speak of the U.S. bases in the Gulf regions have come under attack once again.
History repeating itself, and this time the chances of things getting worse are there even more, because think about it, already you've had 40 days of fighting, you've had casualties on both sides, and now after all of that and a short ceasefire, you start this process of war all over again. Now, this doesn't look good for either America or Iran. It doesn't look good for the region. It doesn't look good for the world, including India. Now, this could get worse. This could get uglier. Because if this continues, because you've seen Iran hitting American targets in the Gulf. Now, what does that mean? It means that Iran still, after all this talk of degradation, still has missiles, still has drones. Now, if Iran can actually, and if it has done so, hit American bases, then it means it can hit targets in the Gulf. And those are easier targets to hit. Yes. So if America hits Iran's infrastructure, yes, Iran's oil manufacturing sites, Iran's refineries.
That would be the very backbone of the Iranians if that would be hit as far as civilian infrastructure is concerned. And this is something which the President of the United States not completely seems to be denying what could be the next possible move. Let's in the meantime listen to him once again, as he's been calling these attacks as retribution.
We just hit them very hard. And I'd say we hit them 20 to 1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder.
Are we returning to a full-scale military conflict, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. We'd win it very quickly. It's another way of doing it. We have many ways we can win, but we've already won militarily. They have very little. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal. That's the problem.
If they want to make a deal, why do you think they attacked commercial vessels?
Because it's sort of crazy, to be honest with you. They're sort of crazy. They're a little bit out of control, but they want to make a deal badly.
Well, we hit them badly and we are ready to hit them hard again. And these are the very words that have now come in from the President of the United States of America on the sidelines of the NATO summit, where he had announced that it was on his directions that they started to carry out these strikes, especially when it comes to the Iranian port cities in southern part of the country. Let's take a look exactly what all areas that have now come under attack. When we speak of the all-important and crucial port that is Bandar Abbas, that has been hit in U.S. strikes, a major port city housing key naval bases as well. And multiple areas that are surrounding are also key installations, also for the IRGC. So when we speak of the Keshma Island, it is a highly fortified island in the Strait of Hormuz that is often used for surveillance. And when we talk about Sirik County, it is also a coastal area which is critical for missile positioning. And when we speak of Mahshar, it is said to be a coastal bases and installations along the Persian Gulf. That seems to be, according to the U.S. Central Command, that these military strikes on part of the United States in the southern part of the country, and this is all along when we speak close to the Strait of Hormuz, that seems to be both weaponized and monetized on part of the Iranian side. Now, Iran in retaliation has also launched strikes following fresh U.S. military action, with the Iranian state media has been claiming that bases, American bases across West Asia have come under attack again, and a military base in Kuwait that was said to be among the targets, while the Iranian media has also been releasing pictures purportedly showing the missile strikes on the U.S. facility. Well, that is now coming in Chandra, because Kuwait's military has also said that its air defense system seems to be intercepting hostile missile and drone attacks, and Iran has also launched attacks on Bahrain and Kuwait in response to the earlier wave of U.S. strikes on its territory.
Yes. At least the one good thing that has happened because of the ceasefire is that all these Gulf states have equipped themselves with air defense systems. So they are able to intercept a lot of these missiles that are coming in, or drones that are coming in. On the other hand, even if you have the best air defense systems in the world, you will still have 10% or even 5% of the missiles going through. And if 5% or 10% of your missiles are going through, they are going to cause damage. They are going to cause serious damage. Now, in the last phase of fighting, those 40 days of fighting, you saw serious damage caused by the Iranians, despite all the air defense systems the Israelis had and the Gulf states had. The Israelis had the best systems, and they are the first people to tell you that some Israeli missiles did get through and cause damage, including in Dimona, where their nuclear installations are. Now, the worry is, if Iran is attacked and their civilian infrastructure is attacked, Iran will do likewise in the Gulf states, which means oil refineries, oil wells, desalination plants, and that will hurt not just the Gulf, it will hurt the whole world.
Absolutely, because the consequences is something that we are looking at has been affecting the countries which are not even directly or indirectly involved in this conflict. Let's, in the meantime, also talk about how Iran has been responding, with its foreign minister Araghchi issuing a strong message amid rising tensions, saying that derogatory remarks against Iran will not diminish the country's greatness. He said that the Iranians are known for their civility and strong values, adding that Iran responds not with insults but with action, courage and resolve. In the meantime, let's listen in what has been the President of the United States saying over this. Of course, several terms that has been used by him for the Iranians in this case.
We hit back much harder.
Are we returning to full-scale military conflict, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. But win it very quickly. It's another way of doing it. We have many ways we can win, but we've already won militarily. They have very little. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal. That's the problem.
If they want to make a deal, why do you think they attacked commercial vessels?
Because they're sort of crazy, to be honest with you. They're sort of crazy. They're a little bit out of control, but they want to make a deal. Badly.